India, the USA, Great Britain, the Netherlands, Venezuela. People from these and many other countries of the world live with us side by side. They're working, starting families, bringing up children and simply enjoying life in Kazakhstan. In our program Connecting Cultures, they share the stories that had occurred in their lives before they came to Kazakhstan and after they arrived here. From them, we will learn how the experience of staying in our country has changed their destinies. What a novice entrepreneur should know. Questioning the status quo is one of the defining principles of entrepreneurship. Today we talk with MBA students from Hаас School of Business in Berkeley. Hello and welcome to Connecting Cultures. My name is Dina Tельтаева. Now I want to say that this edition will be somewhat special. We have 4, not 1 guest. These young people have spent just 3 weeks in Kazakhstan, and they're MBA students with brilliant work experience under their belt, and they're going to share their knowledge on how Kazakh universities can build their entrepreneurial capacities. So let's meet them. One of our business universities in Almaty has established a close relationship with the University of California. It is situated in the United States in the city of Berkeley. Our guests are MBA students at Walter Hаас School of Business, which is part of this university. They came to do their international business development project.
So it was a really interesting transition actually to go from economics to the military.
Andrew Lee. Andrew did a BA in Economics and International Relations at Tufts University. He was a battalion communications officer in the United States Marine Corps, Camp Lejeune, that's in North Carolina. Served in Afghanistan as the first lieutenant and data systems officer in charge. Was platoon commander and second lieutenant at Camp Lejeune. Andrew mentors at-risk youth through tutoring, social events and counseling. He loves long-distance running.
The reason why I really wanted to do it is my family were first-generation immigrants to the United States. I really felt like a sense of duty and obligation. For instance, I remember September 11th happened on my first day of high school, and so it was just a very seminal moment in my life and an inflection point. And after that, I really wanted to serve and give back to a country that I was an immigrant to. But at the same time, once I got to the military, I realized that market-based approaches were probably more successful than government-based approaches. And by that I mean that we saw a lot of money handed out in the aim of reconstructing Afghanistan. And it seemed like that money was not as effectively used as a private market would have been able to utilize it. And so that made me want to come back and get my MBA from Berkeley. And now at Berkeley, I'm focusing on technology and startup.
All politics is personal. For me, it's very personal. So I come from a very mixed family. My mother is Jewish from New York, and my father is indigenous Bolivian.
Corey Vargas Caro has a BA in Cultural and Social Anthropology from Stanford University. He's been the founding partner at Connectiva Firm since 2012. Corey and his team design and implement fundraising strategies for members of Congress and other organizations. He used to direct a donor development for Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee and was a Latino vote director at Michigan Campaign for Change. Corey also likes producing and editing video.
And so I think both of them grew up in very political environments. My mom grew up in sort of the 70s in the United States when they were protesting Vietnam, and my dad grew up in a country where they had dictators every 2 years. And so both of them have a sense that you should always devote your energies to social justice. And so early on I felt that politics was a way that I can make a difference. And now I've learned that in the changing landscape of a globalized world, business is a much more impactful way to make change happen for communities across the world, because businesses can operate outside their boundaries, whereas governments and nations have to stay within their boundaries.
For me, my role models tend to be people in my personal life who I more try to model myself as a person in terms of personal character.
David Lashley. David has graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Southern California. He'd managed studio financial planning and analysis at the Walt Disney Company and was a senior auditor at Deloitte & Touche. David is helping to improve youth literacy by volunteering for reading partners.
So I'm a big person, compassion is a big thing for me, and so people who are compassionate and loving are my role models, as opposed to people who have been very successful in business per se. Because kind of like you said, sometimes you want to just chart your own path and follow your own heart and vision and not be held to the model of what someone else did before you. But there are situations, I think, where people can look to businessmen and to people in society for kind of giving them courage or kind of looking at the path that they would like to take and modeling it after them.